Yo, what is going on, guys? Got some crazy videos from women on TikTok for you here today. Without further ado, let's just jump right in. I haven't seen any of them, but I just know that they are going to be terrible. Let's take a listen.
Okay, I'm walking to a date right now. Well, I'm not walking. I'm not a pioneer, but I'm getting in my car to go to a date. And I already have a bad attitude. Let me tell you why. He asked me out on Wednesday, right? He said, "Can you do dinner Friday night?" I said, "Sure." He said, "Great, can't wait. See you then." Friday rolls around, right? Today's Friday. I think I'm going to hear from him at some point today to tell me a time, a place. All of a sudden, I look at the clock and it's 6:20, and I'm like, he's not standing me up, is he? My Friday nights are sacred to me. It's one of the only nights I don't have my son. It's one of my only free nights.
Whoa. Let's stop it here, okay? So let me understand this correctly. We have a single mother who's on dating applications trying to get dates out of men, and she's surprised when she gets stood up by dudes. Now, just by the way, when these women are on these dating applications, I want to make this very clear, guys. These women are all swiping on the same small percentage of men. So all of these guys have no reason to date them in the first place, really. They have no reason to take them seriously. He's probably out seeing some other woman. But they have even less of a reason to take single mothers seriously. Okay? Dudes who have options probably not going to go around taking single mothers out on dinner dates. Okay? Just my opinion. Let's continue.
The roster's long. The opportunities are endless. The world is my oyster. I have things to do, people to see.
Wait, so she has endless possibilities and her roster is full, yet she's still a single mother. Okay.
Etc. Right? So I'm like, is this man standing me up? A few minutes later, I get a call from him. I don't answer, out of principle, because what do you mean? I call him back a few minutes later. At this point, it's like 6:40. He says, "Hey, I've got a reservation for 7:30. Sure. I said, "Oh, interesting. Where?" Tells me the name of the place. I look it up. It's 20 minutes away from me. It's 6:40. The reservation's for 7:30. I have no makeup, in my pajamas. I haven't showered yet today. Like.
Okay, so let's just stop it here. So this woman gets a call from this guy, decides to ignore it because she's a psycho, only to call him back like 2 minutes later, and he tells her that he has a reservation. I don't know why he's taking a single mother out, but he tells her that he has a reservation, and because it's too close to when the reservation is, despite the fact that he already told her they would be going on a date today, I believe, unless I misheard, she's pissed off about it because it's too close to the time. I mean, guys, this is why men don't date. You know what I mean? Like single mother, pissed off that the dude who said that they would have a reservation for her today has a reservation for her today, but the notice is too short. Again, she could have messaged him at any other point in time, seen what was going on, right? But what do? We make psycho TikTok videos complaining. Let's continue.
Up in my pajamas. I haven't showered yet today. Like. I hurried and got ready because I'm going to go on this date.
So she goes anyway.
Starting out on thin ice. Should I have canceled?
Yeah, so she goes anyway. So this guy was probably attractive, guys, you know. And this is why I'm telling you, right? If the dude is appealing enough to the women will do whatever. They'll throw their hissy fits. They'll say that they're pissed off. Okay, oh, he was late, or he treats me like he doesn't care. They'll still show up. Okay, let's be honest about this, guys. The women will sit there and complain, but if the dude's attractive enough, she will make it. She'll make it there regardless. She'll hook up with him regardless. She won't require commitment from him. She'll complain. She'll make her little TikTok videos about it, or she'll complain to her friends, but she'll still rock up there. Let's continue into the next clip. I have no idea what this one is about. Let's take a listen.
Okay, here's the update on the guy who I thought would be my husband. Many of you
Oh
guessed
my
right.
goodness.
Trumper. when he said that he voted for Trump on that second date, and I was like, well,
Wait until these women realize that the majority of men who are actually going to provide them a future, who are going to be quote unquote husband material. You know what husband material means, right? It means man who is willing to pay for a date and man who is willing to financially look after me. Maybe he has a house. You understand that the majority of these men are going to be conservative, right? Right? Like the women don't seem to understand this. They don't understand that the new age of like liberal guys, these are the men that the women complain about because they want to go 50-50 on dates. The guys who are all about equality and things like this, they're going to be liberal dudes. These women are such muppets, man. And I'll hear dudes, for example, they'll say, well, I'm liberal. But usually what they mean, especially if they watch my content, is like they're the same kind of liberal as previous, right? The definitions, at least from what I understand, seem to change, right? Because you used to be a liberal, but these days, if you have common sense, you're kind of classified as a far-right extremist these days. You know what I mean? Regardless of all of that, let's continue with the video. So that the dude who is a Trump, she's pissed off because the dude who she thought was husband material was actually a Trump supporter, right? So the provider guy, what a surprise, he's a conservative.
that's deal breaker. His face literally sunk into himself and into the chair he was sitting in.
That makes no sense.
I think he was a little upset. Literally said, I deleted Hinge for you. Which, like, I wasn't really sure what the point of saying that was, because, like, that's not, like, a huge compliment. Hinge sucks, so, like, delete it too. He wasn't, like, a diehard Trumper from what I could tell. I said, I'm not gonna shame you. I'm not gonna shame you for not, existing in the reality of the rest of the world.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Your Highness. Thank you so much. By the way, Orange Man, he got elected in. So women like this will be like, oh, you're not on the same page as the rest of the world. I mean, technically speaking, the majority of America voted the guy in. And these women are claiming, they love to claim like they're the majority and follow, doing exactly what they say is common sense. It's always the people, guys, who are most about, all about equality, all about rights, okay, all about supporting each other. These are the people who are always the most closed-minded people, by the way. You ever notice that? Oh yeah, I'm all about equality. I'm liberal this, I'm liberal that. But yet they refuse to date a guy if he doesn't vote the way she wants. Isn't that funny? I've always found that so funny. The people who are so about tolerance are always the most intolerant. Very strange to me.
However, I will ask you why. So he told me his reasons, which were like along the lines of like being financially conservative. And he said, I think Trump's doing good things. And that's where I like put my drink down and was like, sir. And then from there on, school.
I would love to hear what things, by the way, this guy is doing terribly. I've seen all of these women complain, oh, my rights are going to be taken away. And they can't point to like one right that has been taken away from them under the Orange Man who's terrible. Orange Man bad.
Told him. He told me to help him learn.
Oh my goodness.
To see the light, basically. I was like, please don't mind if I do. I pulled out my PowerPoint presentation. Just kidding.
Oh my goodness.
So I gave him another chance because our conversation, he was very open and like willing to listen and be wrong.
I'm so done with this woman, man. It's like, notice how she frames herself as the one who is unequivocally correct, and the man needs to learn. He needs to see the light. Like she puts herself on this such high pedestal as if she's giving the man a chance, by the way. Like the level of entitlement in these videos is just downright disgusting to me. I gave the man another chance, but he has to come to my political leanings for him to have a chance. Again, I want to stress this before we continue into the next clip, guys. You really think that this woman gives a damn about a dude's political leaning if he's highly attractive. I guarantee you this woman is hooked up with dudes, you know, who, who probably have the most extreme political views, at least, you know, what she considers extreme political views. And she, like, the women will do crap, guys, with men, and it doesn't matter, you know, it doesn't matter the political views, it doesn't matter their views on women, for example, you know, it doesn't matter if he pays on the first date, it doesn't matter what political party he ascribes to, none of it matters, right? But it matters now that she's looking for the guy who's husband material. I always just find that endlessly funny, you know? The dudes who get hookups and all of these sorts of things, doesn't matter what political leaning you have, but the moment they're looking for a husband, guys, ooh, you know, you've got to prove that you're worthy of them by voting the same way they do. Disgusting. Let's continue into the next clip here. This is a 42-year-old woman. Let's take a listen.
42 years old. I'm a single mother.
Oh my goodness.
And you especially get to this age, especially as a parent, especially as someone who's solo, it is very likely and very easy to get to this point of your life where you are like, fuck, like everything's kind of falling apart.
Yeah. So the reason why everything's falling apart is because raising a child is not a one-person job. That's why this is so difficult for you, is because you're supposed to have a man and a woman in the house. You know, child, man, woman, very, very simple concept, okay? But society tries to convince women, and women convince other women, oh, don't worry, you can do everything yourself. You can have the career, you can be a solo single mother, you can also date at the same time. Like, society just tries to convince women that they can have everything, that being a single mother is like super easy. It's not. Hell, guys, I'm not a parent, but I would assume raising children, even if you have two parents in the household, still probably not an easy task for a lot of people. You know what I mean? I can't imagine that looking after a child is an easy thing to do. I don't know. You know what I'm saying, guys? I'm not a parent or anything like this, but I understand it can be quite a difficult job at times, okay? Trying to do this solo seems very stupid to me. So maybe we should have had a little bit more of a selection process when we were trying to look for the father of our kid. But hey, you know, what do I know?
But it is really, really important to maintain your positive views and your values and what is most important for you, your well-being, and your children and their well-being.
But she has multiple kids?
People are going to try to sway you all over the place on what they think is best for you, but you know what's best for you.
True. Never settle, queen. Your Prince Charming is just around the corner. Only another 5 years and you'll find him. You'll find that millionaire guy who will do everything you say, who's highly attractive. Don't worry. Please never settle.
And your kids, and you have to just stay that course. And if your intentions are pure and they are for the betterment of you and your family, it's going to work out.
What is with these people, guys, who, like, you know, these single mothers, let's make it clear, okay? They've completely screwed up their own family, right? They really have. And then they start to talk about, like, you know, pure intentions and putting their kids first. Like, if you had pure intentions and you were actually putting your family unit first, don't you think step one would be the foundation of having a mother and a father in the picture? I never understand this rhetoric, guys, of like women saying, yeah, I'm such an ethical single mother. This is an oxymoron to me. These things are mutually exclusive, okay? If you were a good mother, you would probably ensure that the father was in the picture. You know, and I'm willing to eat my words, okay? I'm willing to, you know, backtrack here if this woman is like a widow or something like this. You know, in that case, my deepest empathy to this particular woman. Guys, I have empathy for widows, I truly do. But the majority of people who make these videos, these single mothers, they're not widows, okay? They either chose a guy who didn't want to stick around, right? Or accidentally had a kid, or a combination of those two things, or they booted out a guy who was good. So, like, you know, I don't have empathy in any of those situations. And every one of these single mothers, guys, they'll try and convince you that they're the exception. They're not. They're really not. They all fall under those categories.
It's the law of the universe. It will.
Oh my
It
goodness.
just doesn't mean that you're going to get there in the simplest way or the smooth road. Sometimes it's bumpy, but you do get there. And when things get really, really low, I mean, today I was meditating and I just started crying in my meditation because I was like, fuck, like things are so fucking hard right now. But I started to think about what I wanted like 5 years ago. And what I wanted 5 years ago was to live in this town so my kid can like be part of this community still and like he go into the school, whatever. I wanted my family back. I wanted my friends back. I didn't want to work a corporate job. I wanted to have a creative job. I wanted more time for myself. I wanted to do yoga. Like I wanted all of these things to not be in this relationship where I knew I lost myself in my last relationship.
Okay, so there's a lot to unpack here. I'm going to briefly unpack it because I'm getting a migraine listening to this. So this woman was in a relationship with the father of the kid, I'm going to assume is what she means. But guys, she lost sight of herself in that relationship. She had to find herself. She forgot who she really was. So she had to return to the streets. You know, and now here we are, we're a single mother struggling to pay bills. So she has to have a corporate job, but really she wants a creative job. Notice how all of this is about her, by the way. We talk about putting the family first, doing what's best for the family, but everything she discusses in this video, realistically, is about what she wants. Make that make sense to me. Guys, we are going to be leaving today's video there. I did have a couple more clips, but you know what? I'm done. I'm actually just done listening to this nonsense. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments. Make sure you guys take care of yourselves, and I will be seeing you all in the next episode. Peace.